Ho, 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 and happy holidays. I can say that today because it's the I Know Jax holiday episode. There are glittery Christmas trees, blinking lights, red-nosed reindeers, frosty snowmen, plastic snowflakes everywhere, and the smell of mulled cider has engulfed the first coast, or something like that. 2018 has been a fantastic year for I Know Jax. We've continued to grow our local group of people, and I realize I'm not the only one who loves to go on local adventures and explore new places. My family makes fun of me because I'm one of those people who love to travel on my stomach. So it was no surprise to them that my show is all about food and drink. And drink is what we're focusing on today. Time for holiday spirits. I wanted to find a way to get you guys into the holiday spirit, and I thought there's no better way to do that than with some local spirits. And I'm here with Danny from One Ocean, and we're gonna do some great drink recipes, right? What are you gonna do for us first?
Absolutely. So this one right here, it's a gin cocktail. It's called 75 Pomegranates.
Cool.
It's a twist on the classic French 75. Cool. So we're utilizing the local Jacksonville gin, Manifest gin. It's a phenomenal gin, straight out of Jacksonville.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, like using local products. So go ahead and get started with this one.
Sure, show me how it's made.
So it's gonna be 1 ounce of the Manifest gin.
Okay.
Just gonna go straight into a pint glass or whatever kind of shaking glass you have.
Cool. I pour a little more than that. You're going to be very precise.
Yeah. Then the ½ ounce of a 2-to-1 simple syrup. It's
Gotcha.
2 parts sugar, 1 part water.
Next, Danny adds fresh squeezed lemon juice. That's followed by the main ingredient, pomegranate juice. Well, I still think gin is actually the main ingredient. Then it's time to add ice and get shaken. Gonna go real fancy with it.
Absolutely. Festive for the holidays.
Got it.
A little bit of bubbles on top.
And you're using a fancy brute. You can use anything, right?
You can use any brute. This is what we use here. This is Jean-Louis Blanc de Blanc.
Cool. Then garnish with lemon peel. Go straight in the glass.
There we go. We're gonna take a torch.
I love
Your
it.
home lighter works just fine. Give that a little toast right there.
Give it the aroma, right?
Absolutely. And that's your 75 pomegranates.
75 pomegranate. Our next cocktail is called 7 Sages.
We're gonna go ahead and take about 5 or so leaves of fresh sage. And we're gonna grab some fresh blueberries as well.
Oh, cool.
Get these here around. Then this is going to be equal parts of lemon juice,
okay,
lime juice, and simple syrup. Once you got that in there, you grab your muddler.
Don't muddle too hard. And the idea here is just to get the oils to come out of the sage and then break apart the fruit. Right?
That's exactly it. And we're going to do a full pour, 1½ ounces.
Lastly, Danny goes back to the small side and adds cranberry juice to the drink. You made this up. This is all you drink.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna go ahead, dump that into the ice. Give it a little topper, give it another good shake.
Those blueberries are breaking down even in with the ice. Right?
Blueberries are breaking down, sage is getting broken up, the oils are mixing in there.
Things are happening, baby.
Grab your strainer, strain it over some.
Oh, look at that, that's beautiful.
And top it off with a little bit of club soda.
So add a little fizz to it.
And I like using some fresh raspberries for a garnish because they look pretty. And they're tasty after you let them soak in the booze for a little while. Nice little sprig of that.
Cheers.
That is your 7 sages.
I love it because the sage is there, but not overpowering. That's
Mellow
great.
it out a little bit.
Absolutely. So last but not least, you've got another cocktail for us. What's it called?
So this is called the Cask and Cafe.
Show me how it's done.
So we're going to use 2 ounces.
I like it already.
Of the Manifest Rye. Like a little bit.
Have I impressed upon you that I like the heavy pour?
You have, you have. And I'm a fan of the heavy pour myself in regards to whiskey. And we're gonna do 1 ounce of espresso.
Cool. So cold brew would work even, right?
Cold brew work great, absolutely. Onto the simple syrup, sweeten it up a little bit, balance it
I
out.
get it. Cool.
It's good. Good twist on a white Russian for a whiskey drinker. So then this right here in this fancy little dropper is just vanilla extract. You can buy at the grocery store. Probably already have it at home if you bake often. Just gonna do a few little drops
Around
of
the
that.
holidays, you know you're gonna have that at the house.
Absolutely.
And if you don't, shame on you.
So, give it a nice little stir.
So this one doesn't. This one is stirred, not shaken.
It is stirred, not shaken. Absolutely. I'm not a fan of shaking the whiskey unless it's really necessary.
Hey, this whole thing is all about chilling.
Absolutely. Then right over here, I'm using a big cube if you have regular ice at your house, or if you want to drink it neat, you know, after you stir it and chill it, you're more than welcome to do that as well. We're just going to top it off with a little bit of cream.
Oh, look at that.
Has a nice little presentation to it. You can drink it just like that, or you can give it a stir and, you know, distribute it a little bit, but that is your Caskin Cafe.
Did that.
Boom.
How's that?
That's it. Tap it, of course.
Dude. By the way, all these recipes are available on my website at iknowjax.com. We're lucky because we have so many good local distilleries in our area. There's Manifest, Carve, and of course our friends at Marlin and Barrel and Amelia, and let's not forget about St. Augustine and St. Augustine Distillery. And now there's Maddie Rum from there too. I'm so glad to see that we're getting more distilleries, craft breweries, and local places to go. Just makes my job a lot easier because there's a never-ending supply of great stories. Actually, my problem is that there isn't enough time in the day to do it all. So much goodness and so little time. Next, let's talk about craft beer. Every week I take a look at what's happening in the craft beer scene in the Jacksonville area. I'm at Brews in Atlantic Beach, and today I'm having an Edmonds Oast Sour Cherry Pineapple. Atlantic Beach Brewing Company has released their cooperation with Sierra Nevada Brewing Company to brew Resilience IPA, which is a collaborative fundraising effort for those impacted by the Northern California's campfire. This beer is available in their tap room now while supplies last, so go by and have a pint and help out a great cause. Until Master Brewer Rory, I said hello. Want to get out and do something fun and festive? Well, I suggest you check out the Knights of Pints in St. Augustine, Florida. Each brewery is teaming up to create seasonal, one-of-a-kind collaboration beers that will showcase the unique beer styles of each brewmaster. Plus, a new commemorative t-shirt design is available, and with the purchase of a t-shirt, every brewery goer will get one craft beer from each brewery. The proximity of all the breweries downtown makes it really nice to go during the Nights of Lights. T-shirts are $30 and you can purchase them at each brewery. Participating breweries are Ancient City Brewing Tap Room downtown, Bog Brewing Company, Dog Rose Brewing Company, and Old Coast Ales. This continues now through January 31st. Here's a great event, so mark your calendars for December 26th for the After Christmas Potluck Party at SJ Brewing in Yulee. They'll be having meatball sliders, plus repurpose your leftovers or make something new for a potluck dinner party and bring it in to celebrate. This would be a great time to wear that ugly Christmas sweater one last time for the season. They will be doing a raffle for a free drink every hour. That's at SJ Brewing Company, December 26th from 6 to 9 p.m. How about some football fun? Join Main and Six Brewing to watch both of the NCAA playoff final games. They will have the great food truck Edison Sons joining for the evening. Go dressed in your favorite college gear because they will be offering $1 off the first pints for those wearing college gear. That's Saturday, December 29th, 4 to 11 p.m. Now, do you think this time of year is magical? Well, great. So does Dan the Magic Man, and he will be right here at Brews in Atlantic Beach the Saturday before New Year's. He does tableside magic for everyone to enjoy up close, so make sure to come out and see him. The magic happens December 29th, 8 to 11 p.m. at Brews Atlantic Beach. How about football fun for a cause? Watch the Jags versus the Texans on the ginormous projection screen outside of Brews in Bartram Park. Tickets include 2 16-ounce craft beers from the 40 plus on tap, barbecue buffet, live DJ, photo booth, and silent auction. Plus you can meet some ex-Jags players. All of this is to benefit Once a Soldier as they help veteran families with funeral expenses for loved ones. That's December 30th, 12 to 4 p.m. at Brews in Bartram Park. That's it for local craft beer news in Jacksonville this week. For more tasty beers like the Edmonds Oast Sour Cherry Pineapple, visit Brews at one of their 2 locations and check out more fun events at both locations. Cheers! Our mission is to bring the best variety of ice-cold craft keg beer to take home in a growler. Every year I record a special holiday greeting with our sponsors. I have a great time going around and meeting everyone. Here is the video we put together for this year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Fish Company. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Italian Bistro.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Bruce.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Daddy Shack Ranch.
I'm sorry. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Ho, ho, ho.
The motto at I Know Jax is eat local, drink local, and be local, but since it's the holidays today, I'm focusing on the drink local part. Craft beer is a personal favorite of mine, and I was super excited to visit one of the newest breweries in our area, Rev. So, Eric, you've opened Rev here. You're doing something kind of special with this.
Something.
Focused.
Yeah, we've got a clear vision of what we want to make.
So tell me about this vision.
Okay, yeah, so
What caused this vision? Maybe that's the better question.
We're trying to go more after the beers that I've kind of gotten down to what I enjoy and the beers that I've been
What you like
searching
to make.
after and what I like to make and what I like to drink now.
Okay.
And just trying to kind of take away the broadness of everything we've done in the past and just kind of gear in towards those 3 niche styles that we want to really focus on and then do those 3 well.
So what are the 3 styles?
So we're going to focus on 3 things, yeah. The hazy-ish style of IPA, some people call it New
Hazy-ish.
England.
Okay, yeah.
But the more fruit juice forward style IPAs, the less bitter. They tend to be hazy as a byproduct of the way you make them. We're going to do a lot of fruited sours and do a lot of different fruits and a lot of different sours. And then we're going to do a lot of imperial stouts and a lot of the variations within with the different adjuncts and flavors and variations of those.
You've been nice enough to pour up a few for me.
Yeah.
So what am I drinking here?
So the first one is our hazy double IPA. It's called Edible Sunshine. It's about 8.5%.
Nice.
A lot of the hops are going to push that kind of juicy tropical fruit forward.
I
not
warned
very
you,
bitter.
I'm not an IPA guy normally. But I can drink this because it's not bitter.
Yeah, so one of the inherent traits of this new style is low on the bitterness. They tend to be a little sweeter, they tend to be a little less bitter, and those kind of go hand in hand. But
I like it.
yeah, so we're really digging them.
An IPA I can drink?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then this is obviously a sour.
Yep, that's our Kaleidoscope Eyes, which is a
love the name.
boysenberry blueberry sour.
Heck yeah. Is that what you're drinking as well?
I'm actually drinking Color of Insanity, which is a raspberry cherry vanilla sour.
I'll have to try that one next. A lot of drinking going on here.
Yeah, so a lot of our beers are going to have a lot of I wouldn't say traditional beer ingredients, but a lot of non-malt ingredients with the fruits, spices, vanillas, and a lot of our beers.
What made you decide to come to Mayport?
It's just an area, I spend a lot of time in this area, whether it's passing through, going from the traditional beaches over to Hannah Park.
Sure.
I spend a lot of time on this road, and I really see that I think it's coming around.
Oh, it's
and
up and coming for sure.
There's a lot of people moving into this area. Mayport is the beach.
Yeah.
And it's one of the last reasonable places to buy property at the beach. So there's a lot of people, especially the younger people.
Yeah. I moved to the area about 6 years ago, and I've seen a huge change just in that time.
There's a big influx of younger people
ask
moving
me
in
why
over
I
here.
moved to where I was
And
when
there's
I came
really,
here first.
as far as the commercial side, there's not a lot over here that's new. There's a few new restaurants that are really good that have opened, but there's some traditional older bars, but there's really no newer ones that have opened. So we just thought this would be a great spot to put a brewery in, see what happened, and we've gotten amazing feedback from the people who have moved to this area going,
Spicing beer is sort of a thing that you are known for.
Yeah, I like
whether
alternative
you-
flavors.
Yeah, whether you like to be known for it or not.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Good. Because, I mean, the Coca-Cola, I've told you many times, is my favorite. So you're doing some darker
Imperial
beers
Stout
now?
as well. Yeah, this one's called Fluff and Stuff. So we used...
That's an HR fluff and stuff.
yeah, so we used... there's about 90 pounds of marshmallow that were in the boil. It was then aged on vanilla, as well as graham cracker and cocoa nibs.
I've got to come here when you're brewing.
Yeah,
some
so
of
it was
these
very sticky brew day with all the marshmallow. But yeah, we're trying to kind of go all over the place and play with a lot of these different flavors.
things. More.
It's got all the components of it, whether they come together like you would around a campfire or not. It's got all the unique
Way better.
individual components.
Way better. It's got
with a kick,
alcohol
with a
in
kick.
it.
So it's also a little over 12%, so it's got a little bit in there. So we're 3.5 barrels, so it's 7 full kegs at a time.
Okay.
The goal was small space, small batch,
Right.
high rotation, a lot of variety,
Cool.
and then not tying ourselves down to doing big batches and therefore having to have them on for months and months to go through them. We'd rather kind of turn and burn and move on to the next thing.
You learn more that way too,
Absolutely. So we'll get a lot more opportunities to brew these beers and a lot more opportunities to kind of tweak them and play with them and try different flavor combinations and go from there.
Right? Very cool. So I'd like to do a toast to the future, and hopefully
cheers.
we get a lot of great beers through here. Man.
Absolutely.
Cheers. Here at I Know Jax, we do our best to support local businesses in the community. Visit our website to find out how we can help promote your business on iknowjax.com.
Call Joe directly at 904-345-0755 or visit iknowjax.com/advertising.
This time of year, many of you go on road trips to visit family or just to have fun. And one of my favorite places to go to visit in Florida is Tampa. There's always a lot to do in Tampa, and the city has a great international flair, beautiful architecture, and history. The 1891 Tampa Bay Hotel, now a National Historic Landmark, is home to the University of Tampa and the Henry B. Plant Museum. Plant and the railroad played an important role to put Tampa on the map, and this museum makes you feel like you've been whisked back to the early 19th century. The 2.5-mile long river walk along the Hillsborough River connects downtown restaurants, museums, and parks. At the very end of the river walk, you'll find the restaurant Ulele. The restaurant is housed in what used to be an old waterworks building. They even have their own brewery. Ulele takes its name from a local Native American princess who saved the life of a Spanish explorer nearly 500 years ago. Ulele serves food inspired by the different kinds of cuisine that exist in the area: Italian, Spanish, German, and Cuban. They also use all domestic products, most coming from Florida. The food was just amazing. The lager they make at Ulele has won several awards, and it's super low in carbs but has a lot of taste. There's more to explore at the waterfront. This was one of my favorite ways to see Tampa. And speaking of water, there's also the Florida Aquarium. Personally, I just love aquariums. I can wander around for hours, and the Florida Aquarium has over 20,000 sea creatures and a touch stingray tank. When happy hour rolls around, I'd suggest Ciro's Speakeasy. You need a password to get in. It's dark, cozy, and their craft cocktails are phenomenal. Next, I headed out to the refinery in Seminole Heights. The refinery uses local Florida ingredients and changes the menu several times a week. Chef Greg told me that they never put the same dish back on the menu, so it's always new, innovative, and made from scratch. This was one of the best meals I've ever had. Ybor City has managed to regain its identity. It's still a melting pot with Cuban coffee, cigars, nightclubs, and unique eateries at every corner. And chickens. Cigars are still being made by hand in a few places in Ybor City. There's no shortage of restaurants in Ybor City. The famous Columbia restaurant started here back in 1905. It's the oldest continuously operated restaurant in Florida. one of the largest Spanish restaurants in the world, taking up an entire city block. The Spanish Club in Ybor City is now a restaurant called the Chop House. And how about this one? Bernini. It's an old bank building. So much history and so many stories. It's such a fascinating place to visit. That's why I'll be back. That's it for this week's special holiday episode of I Know Jax. I'll be back with a normal show in the first weekend of January. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you back here next year. But before then, I'll see you on the internet.